हम भारत के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के स्वागत करता है.
Begin by asking you, Prime Minister Modi is going to Slovakia. What do you want to say on that, and how significant is the visit when it comes to the relationship, sir?
Thank you very much for your questions and inviting me. It is indeed a historic visit. Prime Ministers of India and Slovakia have never met earlier in persons, so it is, I would say, the number one historical and also strategic and also symbolic visit. I think this is the evolution of the very high-level political dialogue which we have started with India in 2022. In 2022, your Minister of External Affairs, Dr. Jaishankar, visited Slovakia. From that part onwards, very intensive political dialogue has started on the Ministries of External Affairs level. They are meeting annually, and not just a meeting, but they are, of course, solving the problems of the common interest and crucial aspects of the Indo-Slovak ties. This political dialogue of the ministers of the foreign affairs has been strengthened by visit of Madam Draupadi Murmu, the President of India, in April last year. It was a very historical and symbolic visit after 29 years, and my President, President Peter Pellegrini, has visited India for the AI Summit early February 2026.
So during the discussions, what can we expect in terms of agenda, and how do you see the relationship going forward in various sectors?
Relationship between India and Slovakia is very intensive as of now in all areas of the joint cooperation, whether we are talking about the business investments, cyber security, or green energy innovations, culture, or people-to-people contacts. So I'm sure that the negotiations in Slovakia of the Prime Minister Modi with my Prime Minister and the President and the Speaker of the National Assembly will cover all the aspects of our mutual cooperation, including the cooperation at the multilateral fora. So we are looking forward to have in-depth discussions which will be having a tremendous boost to our cooperation.
Everybody referred to as the mother of all deals. What opportunities does Slovakia see for bilateral trade and investment when that comes into effect?
Well, as you have properly mentioned, this is mother of the deals. I would say it's just not a FTA, but it's also the political declaration of both of the sides of India and EU. It was negotiated also due to political commitment of the both sides, of the Indian Prime Minister Modi and Chief of the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. So there was a clear political commitment. That's why it took very swift development. We are very happy that there is a possibility it will be implicated very soon, by the end of the year or early next year. For us, the FTA means, of course, the simple and relaxed approach to India, reduction of the duties in the long term, and better approach to Indian market. And the same means for the Indian side. Definitely it means more business and more investments and more cooperation between India and Slovakia.
Automobile and advanced engineering, how can both countries deepen industrial cooperation under Make in India?
Automotive industry is I would say, a strategical component of our cooperation. Slovakia supplies for a number of the years luxury cars to India. On the other hand, we are buying the spare parts from India. This total trade comes to 300 million euros. So FTA will give further boost to our cooperation in this area. But practically it will mean that Indian buyer will have the possibility to buy luxury cars cheaper than he is buying so far, because the import duty as of now is 110%, which will be gradually reduced in the long term to 10%.
Defense and technology cooperation with India amid changing global geopolitical dynamics in Europe.
Defense is very specific area of cooperation. Slovakia is solid supplier of defense technologies to India since 1993. We have been one of the biggest supplier of the military hardware to India, and we have been earlier working with the public sector units with the Indian Ordnance Factories and Ministry of Defense. After 30 years, the scenario has been slightly changed, and due to so-called indigenization, the domestic production of the military hardware in India is very significant, and now we are also cooperating, but also in the private sector. Cooperation is going very well. There are a number of projects we are cooperating jointly, and a very interesting element of our cooperation in defense that even Slovakia buys the defense technologies from India.
In terms of bilateral trade between the two countries and also investments, what can we expect, and also where do you see this relationship going forward, the trade relationship?
Bilateral trade between India and Slovakia has been increased in the span of last 3 years from 800 million euros to 1.6 billion euros. So bilateral trade has been doubled. There are generally two baskets of the commodities. There are some traditional commodities, like we have already discussed, the defense or automotives, or perhaps the other engineering products. And there are some new emerging commodities like cyber security, the water management, some of the new technologies, and especially the green technologies. Slovakia becomes also investor in India. We are investing in, especially in the area of the green technologies. We have built up the plant with cooperation with our Indian partner in Uttar Pradesh, producing the ethanol. The production unit is already running and selling very successfully the ethanol. It is based on the waste of the rice and the corn. Production is going very well, and they are thinking about other location depending on the legislative approach of the Indian government. The other area are the railways, where we are investing in two plants. One is in Orissa. It is 2,600 crore investment between Slovak company Tatra Vagonka Poprad and Indian partner Jupiter Wagons. So the plant will become operational next year. And third activity, and very important, is again the production unit producing the railways spare parts and railways bogies with joint venture between Indian and Slovak partner, which plant is already running very well.
Beyond the economic ties, how do you look at the people-to-people ties and also the cultural relationship between the two countries?
Last year was very successful in the area of the culture. We have been organizing the event called Slovak Cultural Days in India. It was a 3-day event where we have First day we have introduced the Slovak films in Marbach Film Studio. Then second day we have been shown the performance and fusion of the Indian and Slovak musicians, which has happened at the Embassy of the Slovak Republic here in New Delhi. And third day we have gone for the colorful market, which is just very close to the embassy, with a performance just to meet the people and showing them the Slovak art. Also, we are every year part of the EU film festivals, but we are also having our own events showing Slovak films, starting from Vadodara or from Goa, then Khajuraho and other places, obviously Noida as well. So in terms of culture, we have done a lot. One of the successful stories was Upanishada, which has been translated in the Slovak language by Slovak Academy of Science, first time in the history, and this has been also mentioned by your Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his speech, Man Ki Baat, and he has appreciated the same, like a bridging culture, or bridging, culture between two countries, one big and one small. But as far as the diaspora in Slovakia concerned, I'm pleased to say that we have more than 10,000 Indians in Slovakia. As of now, India became second largest working force in Slovakia after Ukrainians. As of now, we are employing more than 10,000 Indian people in the industry.
Cinema and Bollywood is also a bit popular in Slovakia. Do you think that this visit may boost that tie between the two countries?
Definitely, we will be having discussion about the possibilities of making and shooting the films in the Slovakia. This will be one of the topic of the discussions. Slovakia is great filming destination. We offer the number of castles, valleys, the mountains. We have Low Tatra, we have High Tatra, we have modern cities, we have ancient cities, We are having very good facilities for making the films. Chehre has been filmed in Slovakia. Amitabh Bachchan was a major star in the film, who has mentioned that Slovakia is not just good for making and shooting the films, but also is a great country for living. And definitely would like to invite Indian producers to come to Slovakia and shoot the film there. There is also drawback and various incentives we are giving to Indian filmmakers, so we'll be only pleased to have them with us.
Since you also speak in Hindi, if you can say 2 lines in Prime Minister Modi visit to Slovakia.
हम भारत के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के स्वागत करता है. आशा है कि उनकी ये यात्रा भारत और स्लोवाकिया रिश्तों को मजबूत करेगा. Namaskar and धन्यवाद.